I have many questions about the disastrous and frankly dumb way the Trump campaign is being run. And believe me, I love to see them do so poorly. But the question that has come up the most recently is, why is Lindsey Graham their top surrogate? I see every Sunday show, there's Lindsey Graham. Recently, all across Fox, I see Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey continues to do a terrible and disingenuous job defending Donald Trump. And on a recent appearance on Fox last night, you could see Lindsey panic after getting caught in a lie about one of the most damaging stories in this campaign for Donald Trump, and really kind of screwed him over in the way that he was talking about it. It was a complete disaster for Lindsey. We see that quite often, but it was especially bad, and I just can't wait to get into it because this campaign is collapsing, and Lindsey Graham is so visibly nervous, so visibly panicked about that. It really just warms my heart. But before we get into Lindsey Graham's disastrous defense of Donald Trump and Mark Robinson's relationship, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video by hitting that thumbs up. It really goes a long way in supporting our channel. Now, like I said, Lindsey Graham appearing on Fox, and you'd think that that would be kind of a softball interview, but Hannity pushed back enough on Lindsey where you can really see him melt down. But I just want to get into it.
We're just inundated with ads tying Robinson to Trump. Donald Trump endorsed Robinson. Donald Trump had no knowledge about the CNN report. We don't know if it's true, but Robinson needs to address the allegations in that report. They're unnerving. If they're true, he is unfit for office. If they're true, if they're untrue, he should sue CNN. Donald Trump didn't do anything with Mark Robinson.
It's so funny to see this half-hearted stepping around the issue defense from Lindsey Graham on Mark Robinson, someone who has already made disgraceful statements in the past. So we really shouldn't be shocked by this new reporting. But Lindsey, his chief goal, the thing he's most focused on, is making sure everyone knows Donald Trump did nothing wrong. This guy that he endorsed, that he has still endorsed, that he for some reason decided to deem Martin Luther King on steroids. Yes, that there is no relationship between these two, and Donald Trump's encouragement of his election in the primary, the Republican primary in North Carolina, no, he is not responsible for him at all. It's just such nonsense, especially with the way that Lindsey Graham has described the media's coverage of what is this really important story and what he said right here.
This is really a hit job. It is unconscionable. And if we did this to them, it would be blowing up the entire mainstream media.
On this show, of course, we know how disgraceful the Republican Party is at large, but it is so much so and so abundantly clear that they deem any reporting on the words they say, their actions, or their agenda as a hit job. Mark Robinson said these things, he made these posts, he made these comments, he believes these things, he has outwardly expressed them multiple times. This is him, yet reporting on that is a hit job. When we say Donald Trump wants to be a dictator on day one because he said it, it's a hit job. When we report on Project 2025 and the dangers it poses that were written and published, it's a hit job. It just goes to show how afraid MAGA is of anyone finding out who they really are because they know how damaging and dangerous it is. And it's really funny to see, again, Lindsey try to step around all of this and really screwing Trump by just talking about it and failing to, I don't know, explain himself. Can he even explain this situation? But it's really funny. Like I said, I'm sorry, this whole interview just cracked me up because Lindsey is so disingenuous, but especially with what he said right here, just a little slip up of the words that we'll see.
Well, he is actually her preacher. But the point is that when somebody says something and I have a relationship with them, I don't own all of that. The reason we're not running these ads is that there would be a firestorm that is unfair. It would be unfair to say that somebody you wrote a letter about, or even your own pastor, you own every stupid thing they did. We'd be crucified politically if we did that. That's literally their campaign in North Carolina, is trying to make people believe that Donald Trump somehow is involved with the Robinson guy. Donald Trump knew nothing about this. I knew nothing about it. They're trying to guilt by association.
If
you're a
Lieutenant
Republican,
Governor.
you own Mark Robinson.
like I said, you can see the little slip up there when Lindsey starts to refer to Mark Robinson on a first name basis. He calls him Mark, but then catches himself and pretends like he doesn't know who he is and says, this Robinson guy. That is especially ridiculous from the GOP, acting like they don't even know who this is. Oh, I just heard of him the other day in this story. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not like he has published anti-Semitic remarks in the past. It's not like that's what the GOP stands for. And so to call him this Robinson guy, no, Lindsey, he's essentially your colleague. You know who this person is. He's in your party. Your party has endorsed him. Your presidential nominee has endorsed him. He's not just some guy. And of course, the media is doing a good job. I'd say the reporting on this has been pretty stellar, but a good enough job calling it out. But someone who did a great job calling it out was Tim Walz right here.
That iron from the northern Minnesota Iron Range fueled the steel mills here right in the Lehigh Valley. Together, it was our people that built the tanks that won World War II and freed the world from Nazi oppression. And I don't know if you noticed Nazi tyranny. We got folks running as Republicans for governor that are proud to refer themselves as Nazis. Let's not pretend that there's a gradual difference between the folks that are running here, that they're running together.
That is the exact type of condemnation and connection that we need. That is the type of call out of Mark Robinson that should be happening from everyone across the political spectrum. We know what he has said is disgusting. We know it is disgraceful. Of course, MAGA is not going to call it out. They'll do anything to support him. And I think I have to raise this because it's just such an important issue that MAGA isn't mad at Mark Robinson for the things he's said. He's said similar statements in the past. These aren't new revelations that he's an anti-Semite. It's just not new. What they're mad at him for is for potentially costing them votes in North Carolina, because that's where MAGA's loyalty lies, with what is politically beneficial, not what is morally right. And so I think it is important to call that out, because the only reason that they'd ever care is if it hurt them politically, not if it hurt other people. And that's what we can see in J.D. Vance right here, trying to dodge these questions, and you're going to want to take a look at this.
Is there something disqualifying about the comments uncovered by CNN that wasn't disqualifying about any of the previous comments he made?
Is that the question? Look, here's my view on the lieutenant governor. First of all, what he said or didn't say is ultimately between him and the people of North Carolina. The people of North Carolina are going to make that decision. Now, look, I've seen some of the statements. I haven't seen them all. Some of them are pretty gross, to put it mildly. Mark Robinson says that those statements are false, that he didn't actually speak them.
Talk about being disingenuous. J.D. Vance, you're not built for this. You're not good at this. And of course, anything that comes out of his mouth is going to sound inorganic and like a lie. That's just who J.D. Vance is, but especially in this moment when he is trying to defend the indefensible, and that is his job, considering Donald Trump, who he previously stated would be America's Hitler, is his boss, so not a lot of backbone there for J.D. Vance. But again, this needs to be the picture of the Republican Party that we have, defending the indefensible, knowing something is wrong, defending it anyways, because all they care about, of course, is their political gain in any given moment. And while I don't love the individual who we're about to hear from next, I think he made a really important point, and that's Chris Christie.
This was predictable. Mark Robinson's tenure in public life has shown erratic, sometimes highly offensive statements over and over again, and Donald Trump supported him and endorsed him. In fact, called him better than Martin Luther King Jr. on steroids.
That's right.
Right? So this was predictable, and this is the problem for us Republicans. As long as Donald Trump is your recruiting agent for candidates in swing states, we're going to continue to get our rear ends handed to us. And Mark Robinson is not going to win this race, can't win this race.
He's about 10, 12 points behind.
Right. And he's running against, by the way, a very formidable candidate.
Yeah,
in the Attorney General, Josh Stein.
Right.
So the fact is, this was going to be a tough race no matter what. And the problem for them now, George, is how much will it affect the top of the ticket?
And I want to ask Donna about.
Not only do we need to tie Mark Robinson to Donald Trump now, we need to tie Mark Robinson to Donald Trump forever. That's what this MAGA movement is about. That's what Project 2025 is about. It is about not just their extreme policy, but the extreme individuals they want implementing it. The extreme individuals they don't want in our government, but attacking our government from the inside. That's what Donald Trump wants. That should scare us. We should be terrified of the cult that they want to put around him, that is already around him, that he enables with his actions, with his words, with his beliefs, and with his endorsements. He has endorsed this person. They should be connected. We have to keep talking about it, and we're going to every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, join what we are building on this channel, and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.